Welcome to Gospel Step Aerobics 21-Day Wellbeing Challenge. I'm Tacola Barrow, and I'll be your coach for 21 days of focusing on and prioritizing the most important asset you have, which is YOU. Hello, 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 and welcome to the Mindful Monday interviews with Lady T. I'm so excited to have each and every one of you join me today as we will be continuing the conversation about the absolute truth, I say, that it is time for well-being. It is time for well-being. That's right. And so because it is time for well-being, as my intro video showed you, I will be hosting. I have put together and am still putting together an amazing 21-day well-being challenge just for you. That's right. We are going to be taking myself, the Gospel Step crew, we are going to be taking 21 days, the last 3 weeks in January, to focus on our well-being and getting the tools that we need for a reset, that's not just a health reset, a physical reset, but a mind, body, and soul reset is what we are focusing on in this upcoming well-being challenge. Beautiful people, are you ready to start 2025 with intention, focus, and a renewed sense of well-being? So I want to personally invite you, if you are, to join me, Coach Tacola Barrow, for an incredible 21-day well-being virtual challenge kicking off on January 11th, 2025. For just $49, you will get 21 days of transformative guidance and practical tools, as I said earlier, to help you reduce stress, boost clarity, and cultivate the vibrant, thriving life that you and I deserve. So whether you're looking to deepen your faith, enhance your mental clarity, or just reclaim your energy and joy, this challenge is designed for YOU. And the best part of this challenge is that you'll be a part of a supportive, uplifting community cheering you on every step of the way. So to secure your spot, visit the website www.ticcola, Ticcola, Barrow, Barrow, that's BARROW.com today. And remember, spots may be limited, and therefore you don't want to miss this opportunity to start your year strong. Let's make 2025 your year, our year of breakthrough and transformation. I can't wait to see you there. Let's thrive together. And before we bring our special guest onto the stage, I would love to offer you guys an amazing discount to the challenge. If you remain to the end of this interview, I will give you a special promo code. So tune in and let's now hear from our special guest, the one and only Miss Christina Colvin, the CEO of Wealth Perspective.
Hi, Miss Ticcola.
Hello, Miss Christina. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good, good, good. I know you told me you would just can't come in from a long day at work. So I'm
Yeah,
excited you,
day.
yeah. What'd you say?
I said, yeah, it's been a day, but I'm happy to be here with you.
Yes, and it's a Monday. Oh my gosh. You know, we're gonna be like Eric Thompson. Thomas, I don't know if you know him. He says, "Thank God it's Monday."
No, that went right over my head. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Well, what about the saying? Is the saying powerful? Thank God it's Monday.
Maybe thank God it's Friday. We ain't got the Friday yet. We ain't got the Friday yet.
Yeah, yeah. This is next level thinking, guys. Christina, this is next level thinking. Thank God it's Monday. Okay. And therefore, it's time for another Mindful Monday interview with the special Christina Colvin. All right, Christina. Well, so glad you decided to join me today. I'm going to go ahead and share your bio with the viewing audience, and then we'll just continue dive into the conversation that I started about 2 parts ago. You're my third part on the fact that it is time for well-being, and so today we're going to talk about just a prelude, just of how well-being how our well-being is a part of our well-being is our mental health, right? So that's what we brought Christina on today to do, to educate us on mental health. So let me pull up your bio, but while I'm doing that, Christina, I like to ask my guests, why did you say yes to the interview? What was if you're glad to be here, can you tell us why?
Yeah, I said yes to the interview because I am the type of person that wants to empower other people. And we had a conversation about, mental health being tied into well being. You came to me talking about your well being challenge. And um, I always think that your mental health is your most valuable asset. And once you are able to master your mental health, then you're able to master. There's little to nothing that you can't master. And so I wanted to, similarly to why I created the organization, I wanted to share with anyone who's willing to listen the tips, the tricks, the information, and the things that I've learned pertaining to my own mental health journey that I'm willing to share with whoever will listen.
Oh man, Christina, I love that. Little to nothing you can't master when you master your mental health. That's a powerful
Absolutely.
statement. That's a
Absolutely.
powerful statement. And this is such a divine appointment, divine interview, I believe, and a divine connection with Christina, because I did not think to include mental health education into the well-being challenge. But because of my conversation with Christina, most definitely, we're going to add this aspect of mental health into the well-being challenge. or Christina's bio. Miss Christina Colvin is the CEO of the Wealth Perspective. It's a social agency with a focus on development. I have here. What kind of development? On development. What do you mean by development, Miss Christina?
Focused on development in the areas of education. We like to focus on the youth, on youth development, but essentially it's development for whoever is willing to grow and stretch and learn. And so it's development of mental health education.
Okay, awesome. And her bio goes on to say her mental health journey inspired her to empower others, as she just shared with us. As a behavioral health professional, Christina became interested in the connection between mental health education and youth development, which led to the creation of the agency. Wow, I'm so excited about you stepping out, Christina, and forming such a powerful agency that is so important. As I work in the education system with students kindergarten through eighth, I have also worked in the high schools, and most definitely, not only is this an important topic for us adults, but also for youth. So kudos to you for creating such a powerful tool for individuals. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our questions for this evening, and then we will wrap things up with, as I said earlier, a promo code for the Wellbeing Challenge if it's something you're interested in. So, Christina, why did you launch the Wealth Perspective? You said earlier your own mental health journey was a major reason. What was your other reasons?
Well, um, 100% transparency. There were no other reasons why I created the agency. I created the agency solely because I wanted to turn pain into purpose, and I wanted to be in a position to empower other people to have better qualities of life, and just to equip people to live better qualities of life sooner than I did. It was a big struggle for me um, in my early adult years, in my early 20s, and in my journey of mastering my mental health, I realized that the onset of a lot of my issues, or a lot of dysfunctions or things that I experienced, they began to take place. Life actually started happening when I was young, when I was in high school. And so I figured that if I could get this information to kids before life hits, that they're equipped with it, they'll be better able to cope, and hopefully we will begin to birth and to have some more whole individuals in our society who are better equipped to give back to their communities.
I absolutely love that, Christina. Absolutely love that. As you know, I work in the education system, and I'm looking to in 2025 launch my program to support the public education system, and the children in that system, the students, and because there's only so much that the teachers can do. And given what you said, um, mental health issues, they even start before the students enter the school building, right?
Mhm.
So definitely, I love the fact that you're going to be also a sister on this journey of impacting the lives of children in the schools, and starting individuals, right? Children are, it's like we're putting them in a category, but children are individuals, right? They're just younger individuals, right? and
Mhm.
um I think that's so powerful to be able to give them the tools that they need um moving forward, to you, as you said, to avoid some of the pitfalls that you found yourself running into because of unhealthy mental situation. All right, so Christina, I'm just pulling up. I'm using my cell phone today, so bear with me as I pull up my notes and everything I wanted to talk about tonight, today, this evening, in the interview. So, you said you wanted to. I love you said you wanted to experience a freedom that you wanted to share with anyone who was willing to listen. I love it. I love it. I love it. So this brings us to well, an important question that a question that I thought was super important. A lot of people don't know what mental health is, like the actual definition of mental health. And I gave questions to Christina before the interview, and one of them was that to define like what is a mental illness versus mental health, and because in predated I don't just want to say dinosaur days, people really ran away from the topic of mental health. It was
Yeah.
kind of like it's something that even my university that I graduated from as an alum, I graduated in 1998 from Northwestern University. And it wasn't until many years later, what, probably I graduated in 98. I moved to Arizona in, oh my gosh, the years start to just blur together when you get my age.
Get
Let's
jumped
see here.
up.
So what'd you say?
I said your years getting jumbled up. You don't know how old you are anymore.
You know what? I do know how old I am. I just turned 48 in October. And when I came to Arizona, I'm trying to remember the year, it was 2009, I guess it was. So, many years after 1998. I was just getting a magazine from, the alma maters get from our university that showed there was an article that they were going to start dealing with and addressing on campus mental health because a lot of the students, I went to a prestigious university. A lot of students that came there, either you came from money or, if you got there, you were like this straight A student. And there's a lot of pressure. A lot of the students, I feel like at my university, including myself, we put on ourselves to maintain these particular grades. And it can become unhealthy, and it became unhealthy for me, Christina. And I'm so grateful that you're transparent, because in all transparency, I really, struggled in that area, after seriously struggled after graduating with my first bachelor's. And my freshman year, I really got caught up just because I wanted to go to medical school. And I heard, I want to go to Northwestern Medical School. I need a particular GPA. And I didn't get that. My grades, I was so stressed out about getting the grades to get
Mhm.
into medical school that I kind of got into this crazy, terrible spiral that was
Yeah.
so unhealthy. And I really didn't spiral out until after 1998, after I graduated, the year I graduated with my first bachelor's. But my freshman year, which is 1994, 95, I had to really get to a place of coping, um, where I had to tell myself, this is how I handled it at that time, to coal up one day at a time. And it's so long ago, I don't remember how I got to that strategy, but it helped me mentally be able to get through my 4 years and to get to a place of operating in a mentally healthy space, my freshman year, when I just kind of let go of the pressure of the grades and being like, okay, Tacola, we're just going to take this one day at a time. It was probably just some miracle from the Lord. But so, can you tell us what is mental health? Because again, it's something that people just started to really talk about a lot, in your generation, maybe Christina, I'm not sure your age, but it's become more of an okay thing to talk about, as I said, just a few years ago, in my opinion. So, what is mental health? What is the difference between mental health and mental illness? Now, these are two different big topics, I'm sure. So we might need to break. Do you think we probably need to break this down? So we'll start with mental health. What is mental health? What does that mean?
Yeah, those are two big brackets, but I can condense it down and make it short and sweet. So mental health in itself is an overarching term for mental. It's an umbrella term, and it encompasses your mental state. Your mental state is just that. It's a state that can change from one to another, just like ice or water can have states. Water can be in a frozen state or it can be in a liquid state. So your mental health exists in states, and it exists on uh,
Continuum.
it exists
Continuum.
on a continuum where health
Or
being on one
spectrum.
end and unhealthy being on the other end. So the opposite of mental health is not mental illness. And I think I just want to uh, make that clear to a lot of people, because you can be in a mentally unhealthy place, but that doesn't mean that you have a mental illness per se. And so um, mental health is the condition of your state of mind. Mental
Okay.
illness, on the other hand, is a condition that causes a disturbance, a severe disturbance in the way that you think, the way that you behave, and the way that you perceive and interact with your environment. So they're two completely different things, because a mental illness will disturb how you interact with your environment, whereas your mental state may where your mental state can it doesn't drive the car, is what I should say.
Hmm. That now that's a powerful statement, because I would think your mental health does in some way cause you to behave in a certain way, and right, but it's just not a significant disturbance, maybe you're saying. Is that, am I right in that?
So let me clarify a bit. When I say mental state doesn't drive the car, I mean in comparison to um, mental illness, I would say gives the glasses through which you see. And that would be the difference between an illness and just an unhealthy state. An unhealthy state doesn't give you the lenses through which you see, interpret, and interact with your world. And I think
Mm.
that would be the biggest difference between the two. You can be in an unhealthy state, but you can still interact with your environment. It may be decreased
Impaired.
in effectiveness, but it is not. Um, it may be decreased in effectiveness, but you can still operate functionally. Whereas maybe someone with a mental illness, that is a severe disturbance that interferes with how they interact with the world.
Okay. Okay, I think I'm starting to see this. Okay, so I love the way you said how you put them as like apples and oranges. So mental health is the apple, and say, mental illness is going to be an orange. And possibly, you could tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, just like you said, mental health is on a spectrum or continuum. Would it be safe to say mental illness is on a spectrum or a continuum?
I wouldn't say that mental illness can exist on a continuum, um, but it does affect every individual to varying degrees.
Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. And I know, with your background, you're not a psychiatrist, right? Or anything like that. But wow, that's great insight though. That's really great insight. And I'm just really excited, again, like I said, that we're even battling this topic, because so many years ago, it's something that people just really didn't even we've only been concerned, most, like I said, even for the well-being challenge that I'm hosting, I didn't even think to address mental health. You know what I mean? So I was thinking, I wasn't only thinking physical, honestly, physical body health for the well-being challenge. I did want to take a holistic approach, but I was thinking more in the way of what we eat or nutrition, and then the exercise piece and the fit, and but definitely we have to realize that our mental health is just important as our physical health, right? The health of our soul, the health of our soul, which is our mind, body, mind, will, and emotions, right? And then we have this mental health side, our mind, our mental health, which is really, really powerful. Wow. And then we have the physical part of us, right? Which is what we eat, and everything. I don't know. I think it kind of all kind of exists together and intermingles itself with each other. I don't know, if you think
And
that
it
same way.
and it does. You're right in a sense, because one of the things that the brain does is there's definitely a physical connection, a mental connection, and a spiritual connection, if we're honest. But if we're just talking about the mental connection and the physical connection, one of the things that the brain does when the body is in a state of constant arousal, the body says, okay, hey, the light's been flipped on here, so we're going to turn off a couple of functions so that we can continue to operate. So basically, the brain says, I am going to turn off a couple of functions so that we can preserve energy, because the brain tells your body that we are in a state of emergency and we have to. What do they say when the ship starts going down and they start throwing luggages over the ship to try to make the weight lighter? That's essentially what the brain does for the body. And they say, we got to turn off some of these functions. We got to make sure that this person is okay. So they turn off things like digestive functioning. It turns off things like cognitive and critical thinking skills. It turns off things like what is another thing that gets turned off?
This is good.
Digestion, cognitive ability, and and reasoning ability is significantly decreased when the body is in a state of constant arousal. So I know a lot of people who may be struggling health wise or diet wise, um, but may not have considered the the state of stress that their body is currently under. You may be, taking all the right steps or doing all the right diets, but if your body is in a constant state of stress, your body can't even properly digest the good things that you're putting in it. So it's already at a disadvantage. So we kind of have to start with the mind first, so the mind can tell the body, okay, it's okay for us to function. It's okay for us to digest this food. It's okay for us to properly think. We do have the time, we do have the energy, and because otherwise the body kind of stays stuck in a loop.
That is so, so good. I love it, Christina. Thank you so, so much for breaking this down so, so well. Because I just never took the time to do this research, and probably most people have not taken the time to do the research to understand their mental health and how it impacts our lives. So that was a wonderful, wonderful breakdown, and I appreciate you sharing that.
You're
So
welcome.
let's see here. You okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see here. I think we got most of our questions that I sent over to you. Oh, I think our last question is. Let's see here. I think I have two more questions. Let's
All
see here.
right,
All right,
I'm
two
ready
last
for it.
questions. Okay, awesome. I'm trying to see which one do we want to use first. Okay, I'll start with the question I gave you earlier, the second question, and then I'll go to the fourth question, kind of skipping around. So, do you have any words of education, inspiration, or encouragement regarding how to improve mental health versus settling for an unhealthy lifestyle. Because I think you mentioned, a lot of people us are settling for an unhealthy lifestyle. We're existing, but I believe we're called, created, designed to thrive in life. So, do you have any words of education, inspiration, and or encouragement regarding how to prioritize our mental health?
Okay. So, if I had to give any advice about prioritizing your mental health, um, it would be um, it would be very broad, and I would keep it very broad because everyone's individual lifestyles, everyone's needs are different. But I think the thing that is the same for everyone is that it is a commitment to practice, and it's a commitment to consistency. And I say those things because when you choose to tackle your mental health, you're choosing to say that I am ready to rewire my brain. And when you say I'm ready to rewire my brain, you have to think about um, all of the years that you've been through, that you have essentially taught yourself what works. You've been using the same systems and the same routines. You've been going through the same habits for years after years. And those systems and routines, they create neural pathways in the brain where the brain communicates. And so when you're saying that I'm ready to tackle my mental health, you're saying that I'm ready to create new neural pathways. I'm ready to think differently. I'm ready to talk differently, and I'm ready to respond differently. And that requires consistency, and it requires practice because you're going to have to create new habits, new ways of thinking. You may have to create new environments for yourself. You may have to create new you may have to become disciplined with your finances. That may mean I need to start putting money to the side to see a therapist. That may mean I have to start looking at insurances so that I can get insurance that covers medication. But so that's why I say such a broad thing like consistency and commitment, because it's more than likely going to be a lifestyle change for you. um, it was for me. That was my experience.
That's so good. I mean, everything you're just so resonating and in line with I believe my purpose, my call. I created Gospel Step Aerobics to promote healthy lifestyles, right? Because a lot of us go to the gym and there's all these mirrors everywhere, and it's kind of like all focused on the outside, right? And then even to think about nutrition, which was my first thought, about assisting people and helping people with through the well-being challenge, it comes down to like you said as well, a commitment to changing up your systems and your routines as well when it comes to your eating habits, right? So, and I think it's all intertwined personally. I think when you make that decision, when we make that decision to prioritize our well being, and realize what I'm putting into my mouth matters, what I'm, what my everyday actions matter. And hey, come on, it's time for a reset. It's time for a reset so that I can really excel and thrive in this life. I call it one life, one hyphen to live is what I call it, Christina, and one hyphen to live. And I don't know if you've ever heard that. I thought I was the first person to come up with it. But on our tombstone, on our gravestones, we have the year we were born. If should Jesus tarry, I always say, you have the year you were born, hyphen the year you're not here anymore, the year that you no longer exist here. And why not make it a blast? Why not make it all that you can make it, in particular in Christ, right? For those that are saved, and that's kingdom leading ladies. That's my target audience, right? Or whoever's listening. All right. So our last question um, is, how should we invest in improving or maintaining our mental health? And I think you kind of addressed this a little bit, but this is what we're going to end out with that question as time is drawing nigh.
Okay. Um, so I am the biggest advocate of therapy. I feel like everyone should try therapy at least once. Um, if if you cannot afford therapy, which is a real thing, therapy is expensive. Not everyone has $75 to $120 for an hour session once a week. It's a real thing. But if you can't afford therapy, then look into resources, read books, read books about mental health, read books about anxiety, read books about depression, read books about
Okay.
whatever you're curious about. If you feel like you're struggling with depression, read books about depression. If you feel like you're struggling with anxiety, begin to know more about the symptoms and about how some of those things show up. And in my personal life, it empowered me because it allowed me to separate symptoms from Christina, and it allowed me to see the individual that I was based on what I was struggling with. And it empowered me to say, those things aren't me. That's not actually the quality of my life. That's the thing that I'm struggling with. And so when I was able to separate by being informed, it helped me to feel um, not weighed down by uh, not weighed down by symptoms, which I had taken on and adapted and say, this is me, this is my life, when that's not true. When the truth is you aren't your symptoms, the truth is you aren't stressed, the truth is you aren't those things. Sometimes we just need a little bit of help, a little bit of education, somebody to kind of hold our hand and say, this is the way to go.
Absolutely. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm just realizing, I'm like, oh, I didn't put up my banner that I wanted to stream across the screen while we were doing the interview. Well, Christina, regarding that response, there's a couple things I have. Um, you talked about reading books, reading books, reading books. I was going to say, not everybody likes book reading, but luckily we're in the age of the internet. So
Yeah.
I want to add to that, or watch videos, right?
Right. Watch
Watch
videos,
videos.
listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube videos. There are a bunch of educational channels on YouTube from professionals in their field, from doctors, from psychologists, from therapists, and they upload information. They give you real scenarios, they give you case studies. You can get this information if you actually want it. It's out there for you, however you're able to digest it.
Awesome, awesome. And you can join Christina's workshop that she'll be doing during the well-being challenge on mental health. If I still have her corner to do that. I have asked Christina to be one of my workshop speakers during the well-being challenge, so that we can address and maybe even, on a more personal level, be able to give you some support in the area of mental health, like individualized support. And as I said earlier, also have a community. If you're a part of the well-being challenge, a community and a space of accountability, also where you can find an accountability partner, you can find a well-being buddy to continue your journey after the 21-day well-being challenge of prioritizing your well-being and taking charge of your health, right? Because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for us. Okay, you guys? So that's going to be my major, major point I want to end this interview with. is that we have to be responsible for our health. We are living in America, and unfortunately, I hate to break the news to you, but I am of the opinion that we have a sick care system here in our country, a sick care system, not necessarily health care, right? I've been learning so much about health and healthcare as I'm preparing and ramping up for this well-being challenge that I will be having in July, and offering you an opportunity to join. You guys, we have to take charge of our own health. These medicines that are being prescribed to us, thank God, they're band-aids, but a lot of things can be reversed through our nutrition, and as Christina said, through our self education and personal development and understanding of areas of our life that we need to have better understanding regarding, so that we can make better choices and commit to the systems and the routines that will cause us to thrive in 2025. Well, Christina, did you have anything else you want to share before I go ahead and give the promo code for people to get an amazing discount to join the Wellbeing Challenge?
No, I don't have anything to share, but I do want to thank you, Mr. Kohler, for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about mental health to your audience, to your kingdom leading ladies. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a kingdom leading lady. And Christina, do you happen to have any way that people can connect to you? Just connect with you, just in case they make the bad decision to not join the Wellbeing Challenge.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to reach out on social media, I can be found on Facebook and on Instagram at The Wealth Perspective.
All right, and I will be sharing her contact information as well in my follow-up post that I always do after my Mindful Monday interviews. Well, you guys, thank you for joining Mindful Mondays with Tacola and Lady T. I call go by, and I just want to also just give you guys that promo code I was telling you about. This promo code will take effect tomorrow morning. So it won't be effective today. The promo code that you can use for your discount to join the challenge will be effective starting tomorrow morning, okay? Or midnight tonight, let's say. And not that you'll be up at midnight just to join the challenge. Hope, you know. So the promo code that you would use is Thrive, THRIVENIN 2025. Again, when you go in to the website to reserve your spot, which is www.tacolabarrel.com, which I'll post as well with the follow-up post to this interview with Christina's information. The promo code you're going to use is, which I'm not going to put on the post, is Thrive, THRIVENIN 2025. God bless you guys and have an amazing rest of your year. And this year strong. Make strong, powerful decisions, like joining the Wellbeing Challenge, like taking your mental health and taking control of your mental health, and connecting with people like Miss Christina. And let's end this year strong and have some amazingly happy holidays. God bless and good night.